We have a lot going on this weekend weather-wise, from the fires in Australia, the smoke drifting over New Zealand, the storm in the Southern Ocean, which is coming our way on Sunday, but falling apart at the same time. And we've also got plenty of heavy rain coming for the west coast, with some further spillover in towards Wanaka, plus some thunderstorms on Sunday and a cooler change on Monday. So there is a lot to talk about. Apologies we had no video yesterday, but I'm pretty sure the video today will make up for that. So let's kick off with the animated wind map. There is the storm. It is weakening, and as it does so, it's also drifting in towards the South Island, where it arrives about Sunday. This system, combined with a high out over Australia, just off the map, combined to help create those big, strong westerly winds that fueled those fires in New South Wales. And they have just really sent a huge plume of smoke out into the Tasman Sea. And it's caught up in this airflow, which is drifting down across the country. So take a look at this map. This is showing all the fires that are currently burning in Australia. It is also showing the cloud coming out. That is actually from smoke. And then the majority of the sort of high level thin veil that you can see here, that is smoke and dust. And you can sort of see it waves up and it comes down. It really sort of affects the north of the North Island. Auckland, Waikato, Northland, Coromandel, those areas, and out towards Gisborne. But there's further smoke out here, and it could drift into other regions as we go through the next day or so. So if you suffer from asthma or other breathing difficulties, the best advice is to stay inside with doors and windows closed. Hopefully you've got air conditioning. One more thing to go on before we move on to the forecast. There is air pollution. So just talking about breathing difficulties, the only real part of New Zealand that seems to be affected, at least when we made this video update, was the top of the North Island around Auckland, moderate. So, you know, if you've got a bit of a breathing issue, that may be because of the smoke coming out of Australia. The levels over there, they are much higher. They're into the unhealthy range, and the for the sensitive groups as well. But yesterday we actually went right up to the very unhealthy, and that might return again for some of those places. If you want to see these maps, this information, just go to our news section on our app or our website, and you can see the latest there. Okay, let's move on, because we've got rain coming back in. Well, it hasn't really stopped, but it really intensifies across Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, the problem, as you know about Wanaka, or many of you might know about Wanaka having issues with flooding, there could be more spillover. You can just see in the middle there's a bit of a white dot. That means 200 millimeters, and this is just until 6 o'clock Saturday morning. So that's a lot of rain. And then we look at the 3-day map. That's for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the rainfall totals in this area, 300 millimeters. So that is a lot of rain falling in that one area. There might also be up to a meter of snow on the tops of some of the mountains. Otherwise, about 30 centimeters looks like the common amount. But that's, you know, a fair bit of moisture falling on the west coast. But the good news is it does finally stop once we get to about Sunday. So let's take a look at that forecast. Here is Saturday's setup. Nor'westers out of the subtropics, out of Australia, more smoke caught up in that, but with a bit of rain cloud out there too. It's sort of going to be a bit cloudy, so you may not notice it quite as much. The winds are pretty strong as the storm in the Southern Ocean gets closer. The squash zone between the center of that system and our big high moving out to our northeast. It puts the squash on all those isobars. So a windy Saturday, warm everywhere, warmer than average in most places. Now we go to Sunday, and this is a little more interesting. The cold front moving into the North Island. At the same time, you've got a humid nor'west flow. We are likely to see some afternoon downpours, thunderstorms as well. You're probably seeing that in some of your 10-day forecasts. But we have to be careful that you don't, you know, these thunderstorms track in different areas. They form just down the road or just over a hill from you. So they are a little bit tricky to be specific about, but the general risk is in fact the entire top half of the North Island. So they could bubble up anywhere in that zone on Sunday as a result of daytime heating and moisture. And then you've got that cold front arriving later, which could also have a couple of thunderstorms as it all starts to mix up. More rain on the west coast, and finally in comes that cooler change with the center of the low right there hugging the lower South Island. So next week kicks off with that low drifting further out to the east, but here's the colder southerly. By the way, this temperature drop on Monday will be a few degrees to several degrees. Most places bounce back to normal, so it shows you how much warmer than average we are at the moment. There will be a few places that are colder than usual down here around the southeastern side, and then next map, Tuesday, that colder air actually comes up around Hawke's Bay and you'll be below average a little bit there. And the overnight lows, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday morning, will be below average a number of places. But by the end of Tuesday, subtropical nor'westers, they are coming back. So that is all from me. We have a lot to cover. It's all on our website. Just go there, or the news section of our app. We're covering the Australian fires, the smoke coming from that, and obviously the deluge over on the west coast. That is all from me. Have a great weekend.